Hello, God's saints and future saints. I was led by the Holy Spirit a while ago now, like after my testimony video, to do a more specific one. And I just have been having a hard time finding the time to do that. So now I am on here to give a more specific testimony to some small miracles that God has done for me is I think mainly what this one's about. So well, one thing that I think came to mind right away when I was getting more specific ideas, at one point I had gotten pretty sick, and it was like a really bad UTI, urinary tract infection. I felt like I was going to die. So that's one thing. I didn't die. So praise the Lord for that. But after that, it might have been due to that and just due to some other stress. I had a lot of hair falling out. I noticed like an abnormally large amount of hair. Like I just was shedding my hair. I was getting kind of nervous that it wasn't, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't want to go bald. So obviously then I prayed about that, and also I quit the job I was working at the time that it was also contributing to the stress. But God made my hair grow back. He healed me from my sickness, and then when my hair was falling out, after I prayed for that, he made my hair grow back. And I still get new little baby hairs. Well, anyway, yeah, all the time. So, thank you, God. And then this is related. Yeah, because I was really sick. Like, I really felt like I was going to die. So he healed me from that. And then, I'm just trying to remember. It was after that, like, months later, even maybe like a year later, I had like, felt sort of like I had another kidney infection, or sorry, not kidney, but urinary tract infection happening. This time it seemed to be affecting my kidneys rather than just like a normal urinary tract infection. I could feel the pain in my back, but I was being stubborn. I didn't want to go back to the doctor. Well, because the last time it hadn't worked. I had taken some antibiotics that made me hallucinate, I think, at that time or after. Then my hair started falling out or shedding a lot. I had taken some antibiotics that while taking them, I was just having like really weird dreams during the time where I felt like I was dying. Like I was laying on the living room floor with my legs up was the only way I could sort of sleep, and it was just like very strange dreams. But then I also hallucinated like a ghost in my bedroom when I was in my bedroom, and that, I think, sickness, like the really bad part of it, lasted like 3 days. But anyway, so I didn't really want to do antibiotics again after that, just, for a UTI. It was a bad experience, and I didn't, so I was like, no, God, you are my physician. He's our physician, and obviously our healer. So I just prayed for him to heal me, and I had told my family about it, and they were like, yeah, that sounds like it could be your kidneys. That's serious. And I was like, yes, I know. I will go in after there was like a certain amount of time, like a day or a certain amount of hours, where if I still had pain like that in my back where my kidneys are, that I would go get checked out. But I didn't have to. My kidneys stopped hurting. I became healed. And I think that was all part of like a time too where God was wanting me to drink less. Like, I would go to a lot of events with my husband where it was like samples, like where you get like lots of samples of like wine and beer. They were fun events, and I didn't really want to drink that much, but I just was like, oh, but I feel like I should try everything, and I would just end up drinking too much. And so at that time that was happening, and I think that was also a contributing factor, and God kind of like, maybe it was part of Him allowing me to go through those troubles to show me what was happening in my body, to encourage me to drink less. And now I rarely, well, I drink on occasion, but just it'll be wine and like a glass of wine, and not when I'm upset, but just when it's like a happy occasion. And I don't know, I might even stop that. It's just kind of feels like, yeah, like I don't need to do that either. So what else? Just looking at what I wrote down. Oh, so I almost had, well, I guess there was like a actual car crash. Well, not really a car crash, but I had, this was another thing with drinking. This was years ago. And oh, this other event when I had the UTI, that was, probably like at least like 6 years ago, or 7 years ago and 6 years ago. And then this other event with like a car incident where I had been drinking, and then I decided to leave the situation. I wasn't thinking clearly because I had been drinking, but there was some situation I wanted to get out of, so I was just like, okay, I'm leaving, and I drove, and I was driving home, and obviously that was not safe. I should not have done that, but I believe I passed out while driving. Very dangerous, very awful. And suddenly I was just driving, and then suddenly my side mirror on like the side by me, the driver's side, was just like banging against my car. Like it was loose and not secured. So something had happened. I had, collided. That part of my vehicle had hit something. I was on the highway, so I didn't know. I kind of looked around while I was driving, and I didn't see the aftermath of anything, so I just kept going, and I went home, and I'm just thinking, well, anyway, so God kept me from dying then. He kept me safe, and I didn't hurt anyone, it turned out, but I had hit someone's vehicle with my mirror. They did go to the police, and the police showed up at my door. So that, wasn't a good time either. But God helped me through that as well. I ended up with an inattentive driving charge. And it was a very sobering experience. Obviously. Then what else? Oh, okay. So this was another drinking thing. It was back around, well, I believe before that incident. I had been out drinking, and then I had driven home. Don't do that. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink too much, because not drinking is better. So then I woke up in the morning. It was light outside. I realized my vehicle was running. My foot was and it wasn't parked. It was in drive, but my foot was on the brake. So I strongly believe that God really saved me there and had an angels, keeping my foot on the brake and just, keeping a hedge of protection around me. Because I woke up and my car was in drive, but I was okay. I turned off my vehicle and went inside, went home. So God has really saved me. Thank you, God. And I don't do these activities anymore. And then, what else? Oh, okay. So, there's been, around that same time, there were other, vehicle things that kind of happened, but, those were the most significant. He has spoken to me, and this is, I feel like, just kind of a cool miracle or thing that God does, and he speaks through children. He's spoken to me through my children at, one point when it was helping with my marriage, my son had said, he was really little, and it was just weird for him to say. He had said talk to him, and it was just a phrase that was weird for him to say, and he said it was a struggle for him to say it, because I was just sort of in shock, I guess, at that time, and that him saying that helped me. So that was definitely a divine intervention. Another thing was just another thing with my son, when my grandparents died, and I was just not wanting to face it, and a relative had called, my aunt, and I just hadn't answered the phone yet because I figured, they hadn't, with my grandpa, he hadn't passed away yet, but I was figuring that was probably what the call was, and then my son called me a chicken who cries but doesn't cry. And that was, I feel like, God nudging me to return the call. And recently, my daughter called me a queen after some, just cool, I don't know, downloads from God to me personally. And then she called me a queen, which was, a confirmation. So that was cool. So I think those are the specifics. Oh, and then now there's something kind of new where just there were changes happening at work, and we didn't know exactly where we would fall with these changes and certain work assignments, and I ended up getting the work assignment I wanted, and I guess probably the best one to get, especially for me, but I know it's one that other people would choose if they could as well. So thank you, God, for that. Oh, and just me being able to work from home for these past 3 years since the pandemic started, and it was just shortly before, a month before it started, where we were working from home because of COVID, and then my daughter was born, and just it's been super helpful to be able to work from home because she basically wants me with her all the time, and it's just really a helpful thing to us, for my family, for me to be able to work from home. And it was something I had wanted for a long time to be able to do. So, and that was something that happened just at the end of July that I found out that was the assignment I got. God. And I just feel grateful that he he does this for everyone who goes to meet him in a secret place, but that's something I'm super grateful for. Meeting me in the secret place, and for confirmations that he will give to everyone, and that he speaks to us. He'll do that for everyone. He speaks to all of us all the time. We just need to listen, and he sends his angels to fight on our behalf and minister to us and war for us. And he gave us his word, his son, and he is a good God. And that is all for this video. Thank you